Thousand Islands Baptist Church. Suzanne here, your small group coordinator. Just wanted to take a moment to give you an update on the small group ministry progress. So we've had a gathering already with the small group leaders, and now I just thought it would be good to keep in touch with you and answer some of the questions that some I've received, and some we just think would be good questions to answer at this point in the process. As a participant in small group ministry, what am I signing up for? So I've included, or I will include in the email to you, the participant commitment form that we've put together, and it just has some things itemized that we'd like you to think through and pray through, so that you can say, like, wholeheartedly, I'm committing to this as a participant in the small group experience. So things like I'm committed to coming, and if I can't, I'll let my leader know. If I'm going to be late, I'll keep in touch with my leader. I'll hold things in confidence. Personal information that's shared, I will commit to not sharing outside of the small group time. I'm willing to pray for the small group leaders, the small group coordinator, for the elders, and I'm under the authority of the elders in areas of doctrine and direction and discipline. And so things like that, I'd love for you to be able to read through it and pray about it and see if that's something that you can commit to in the small group experience. It's meant to serve you, it's meant to serve the leaders, just meant to serve everyone in the experience, so that we can all have the same sort of expectations going into the time. So the second question I want to answer is, that you might have, is what group will I be in? What's the location? Who will my leaders be? So we've set it up that it's geography based, so your location is based on where you live, and so that's what group you'll be in and the leaders that you will have. Because we're great leaders, there's not one leader better than the other, and so we want to be able to break out our people in Thousand Islands so that one group is not overwhelmed with people, so we'll spread it out. But we do recognize in that it's still it's just fluctuating because we have different home capacities. So I've got a little bit of a sense from you based on your interest on where people will be placed. But as we get more, firm commitment from you, then we can start having people in their groups. I understand that that's sometimes a barrier for people in expressing their full commitment because of the unknown of, who else is going to be in my group. But we hope that with these strong leaders in place, that they'll be able to help you to navigate just some of the nuances of, being in groups with people that you haven't selected. But basically, we're opening this up to anyone involved in the Thousand Islands family, but just wanting to be mindful of those that have just recently decided to check out Thousand Islands and wondering if it will be their church home. And so we want to give them space to keep exploring whether this would be their church family and whether they might want to become a member at Thousand Islands. Anyone can sign up, but we'll also just continue to navigate the conversation with you if you feel that it is your home church and you'd be able to make that commitment in the small group without feeling like you're trapped or something like that. Whether they're part of Thousand Islands or whether they're just your friends that you know through the community, you might have that question, can I invite them to come and participate as well? Which is a great question and great to be wanting to think of others and their experience. But for the sake of this group and really wanting to foster that confidentiality and just a sense of safe community and journey with each other, we want to have consistency in our group for that September to June, so that we can develop those relationships, at least for this season of time. For now, it would just be for those that sign up in September, and as we get things going, we'll be committed to that group of people. Again, that kind of falls into the same answer for Can I Invite My Friends? We're just really wanting to foster this community, confidentiality, commitment to one another, praying for one another, and having this experience of safety within the group. And so it changes the dynamics if you switch groups and join later after things have already started to get going. So we just wanted to prevent some of that awkwardness and changing of the dynamics that we're trying to build momentum in. I mentioned on the August 1st presentation, the small groups will meet together for an hour and a half, either on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Monday evening, or Tuesday evening. And the format will be that participants come together and then have a time of prayer and praise, and we'll have different church needs, corporate needs that will be prayed for. Then there will be time of answering questions from the sermon, and these questions will be provided from Pastor Ellen, and the small group leaders will facilitate discussion. Then we'll break out into men's and women's time for personal encouragement and personal prayer. So that's going to be the format. It's going to be consistent that way. The small group leaders will continually keep to the schedule and keep that format throughout September to June. So the prayer and praise time will be similar to the bulletin that we would receive for Wednesday prayer, where in some organized fashion there will be things that as a church we'll be wanting to pray for. Obviously we want to pray for our elders, for the Sunday service, and then there's other things that as a church body we're wanting to pray for, so that's an opportunity to be praying for those things. Then in the women's and men's time, they'll be more specific to you and some of the needs in your life and your walk with God that we can be praying for each other. We certainly don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, that they have to be audibly praying for the participants to be hearing, as well as the Lord, of course. But we do desire that participants would be willing to pray, maybe quietly in their hearts, but join in with each other in praying for these needs. So I think to answer that, it might be helpful to sort of give more explanation on what the experience is that we're looking for. So Pastor Ellen wants to give us these questions so that in community we can be digging deeper and helping to know the Word in a deeper way too. Like, how does this line up with the text or other passages we may know, or a past experience I've had in being in this passage, so that we can grow together and learn from one another and just have open dialogue. And no one's going to be forced to answer any question, but we do want to hear from each other because we each have, unique experiences that we want to bring to the table. We want to be known in our wrestling and in our growth, because there will be application questions as well with what does this mean for me in my heart, in my life as I interact with Christians, non-Christians. What does this look like? So we hope that they will help you. We hope that you'll want to answer and participate, but we're not going to have a culture of forcing people to do anything. We just want to invite people and hope that people take that opportunity and that invitation. The answer is no. So you come to a small group time and that's it. It's a contained experience, and you answer the questions together and receive the questions in your small group time as well. When we break out after our sermon study discussion questions and we're in these two smaller groups of the small group, what does that time look like? So these smaller times together are meant to go deeper in more discipleship type experiences, like how is your walk with God? What are things that we can be praying for you? It's a time to just open up to each other with more accountability, some questions that will help you to grow in your walk with Christ, and we can support one another in that journey, in that process that we are all on. So there will be some prayer, there will be some questions about how you're doing, and how we can be encouraging one another in the Lord. So thank you for listening to some questions and answers about small groups. And if you do have any other questions or concerns, please be in touch with me. I want to help you in the process. And a couple last things to note. I will have a more official sign up. So you've expressed some interest for those of you that have, and now I want to give you opportunity to, after reading the participant commitment and having some more answers given to you, that you can sign up for Thousand Islands Baptist Church small groups from September to June. And these groups will begin the week of September 12th. So you can look forward to that as well and mark your calendars for the start of small group ministry at Thousand Islands.